Officials are busy preparing for the first cruise ship of the season. It will dock at the riverfront tomorrow. And WGEM's Shakayla McCamick joins us now. And Shakayla, what are the downtown businesses hoping for this summer?
Daniel, tomorrow the first of about 50 total cruise ship dockings will take place in Hannibal. With each ship that docks, officials expect to see between 100 and 200 visitors flocking to downtown. That means business owners are expecting sales and chatter about Hannibal to skyrocket in the coming months.
The riverfront in Hannibal isn't so busy right now. But officials expect to see at least 100 visitors in the city as the first cruise ship of the season docks this week. Michael Kemp runs the Hannibal History Museum and expects more visitors than usual when the American Symphony docks this week.
I mean, some days there's maybe 100 people, a couple hundred people on ships, so you see 100 more people. Or if there's two ships docked, then you see a couple hundred more people.
Kemp says having more visitors than usual is great for selling product, but it also starts a chain reaction of inviting more visitors to explore Hannibal in the future.
But yeah, say they tell their friends or they tell their family, you ought to go look at this town or check this town out. There's a lot of things to do. It's just better all the way around. The more people, the more business. So
Megan Rapp, Hannibal's Convention and Visitors Bureau Director, says even if visitors don't spend hundreds of dollars in downtown stores, simply browsing or buying something small will put more dollars into the city.
Even if it's as simple as, grabbing a cup of coffee or grabbing a snack, really those shopping local, so many of our locally owned businesses on Main Street, when you shop local, that money stays local.
Rapp says between July and October, there are 12 to 14 cruise ship dockings planned each month. But she does advise that weather and levels of the Mississippi can impact cruise schedules, so she advises that number could change. Nonetheless, she expects businesses to prosper from all the ships coming this summer. Shakayla McCamick, WGEM News.
All right, thank you, Shakayla. And Rapp says many locals like to see the ships dock, greeting the visitors and sharing other business suggestions. You can find a full list of this year's docking schedule online right now at WGEM.com.